In the first lesson of this unit, students will explore geographical characteristics of places in DC. The supporting question for this lesson is, what geographical features are important to DC? Students will be able to identify and describe physical features such as landforms and bodies of waters, locate physical features on a map or a globe, understand that regions have physical and cultural characteristics, identify and compare characteristics of different regions, and lastly, use digital skills to broaden student perspective and enrich their learning. To connect and engage students, the teacher will use the time to build and activate background knowledge and vocabulary. The teacher will preview key ideas and vocabulary with students. Maps and other visuals will be presented and used as aids. With the engagement piece or the warm-up of the lesson, students will complete an interactive video on Nearpod. The teacher will pose the following questions to students to connect and engage learners. What do you like about the area where you live? What activities do you enjoy doing outside? Students will be provided time to turn and talk and share ideas with peers. The teacher may elect to share thoughts or ideas first to encourage discussions. Teacher will then set a purpose for the reading. Today, we'll be reading and watching a video to gain information about Washington, D.C. and a basic citywide map to discuss landforms, bodies of water, natural resources, and weather. The teacher would then complete guided reading from the textbook, Background Building Social Studies, Exploring Washington, D.C. During that time, the teacher will model active reading and provide steps on how to identify visuals of landforms of various regions. The teacher will pause periodically and pose questions to assess student comprehension. For example, what is the difference between landforms and continents? What is the difference between an ocean, river, and lake? Using the map, what body of water is east of DC? Let's take a look at the student interactive Nearpod. Once students arrive at the Nearpod lesson, they'll be prompted to enter their name. Students should enter their first and last name to aid with grading. After that, students will choose to join lesson. The teacher can use the instructor pace mode of the Nearpod and share their screen with the students or on the overhead, or teachers can prompt students to complete the interactive video individually and independently.
Hello, boys and girls. Today, we are going to talk about Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States of America. I am so excited that we are flying there today. Me too. Let's go.
Here we have an open-ended question. What do you already know about Washington, D.C.? So throughout these interactive videos, the students will be prompted to answer different questions. Let's take a look at the next one.
With their portraits and statuettes. Washington, D.C. is home to the U.S. government. Many important laws and decisions are made here.
Here's another example of a question that students will answer. Washington, D.C. is home to the U.S. government. True or false? So throughout this video, students will have different kinds of questions that they will be asked, all based on the video. After completing the engagement piece with students and the guided practice with students, students will complete a group task for this lesson. The assignment is titled Visuals and Descriptions. In this assignment, students will work in teams to create a visual using Google Drawing app of Washington, D.C. Visuals are to include illustrations and/or representations of landforms and bodies of waters specific to the area. Students are to work collaboratively on deciding which landforms to include, labeling, and providing a detailed description. The detailed descriptions will be recorded using Flipgrid. The description should include the area name, the name of each landform or body of water, and how people interact with said landforms and body of water. To access the Google Drawing app, students will click the link on Canvas. And use tools to draw. To access the Flipgrid, students will use the Flipgrid app by clicking the link. Here, they will be prompted to enter the join code for the assignment, also given on the Canvas course site. As an informal observation, students will be given time to present their area and landform visuals to the class. Teacher and students will provide feedback during this time. Students will share and celebrate their learning. With this informal observations, teachers will be able to assess student learning and understandings and identify any misconceptions for reteaching.